Once the last gem is inserted into the Enchiridion, it will have the power to create a portal to any dimension in the multiverse. An activated portal creates a time dilation in which either end of the portal experiences a temporal synchronization, allowing for the safe passage of particles through a non-local region of space-time.
Looks like we're talking about the 4 principles of magic. Now, as many of you know, I actually did do a video on the principles of magic before, at least one of them, which was amok time. However, upon further inspection, I realized that I could mix all of these subjects together to make one decently sized video. So with that being said, let's get right into it. First off, we have the principle of elasticity. Now, this is an incredibly important aspect as it's the main thing that allows magic to be as usable as it is. Elasticity in this context is basically how easily magic can manipulate the area. The greater the elasticity, the more powerful and effective magic becomes. This elasticity actively affects, well, everything. The coming of magic and the appearance of elasticity is one of the biggest reasons the land of Oo is the way that it is. Various factors can influence elasticity. One known way is through the introduction of insane levels of magical power. A good example of this would be the mushroom bomb, which housed the essence of the Lich. When the bomb was dropped, it actively coated everything in massive amounts of magic, causing the elasticity to dramatically increase. This caused new scientific laws, new species of creatures, and even new adaptations for existing creatures. Magic became far more common, and due to the matter and energy now being more influenced by imagination and magical practices, it was somewhat of a golden age for magic. However, elasticity shifts, and although originally it may provide great magical influence, with time this magic may fade, something that has happened pretty consistently on the land of Oo, such as when magic barely even existed aside from small pockets of magical sanctuaries such as the well-hidden Wizard City. Basically, what you see the vast majority of time is magic that is greatly amped by increased elasticity. However, if this elasticity reaches a certain point where it's so low the imagination doesn't really affect anything, magic becomes next to impossible to use and the world becomes mundane. In fact, this is basically what anti-magic is. By basically completely removing elasticity from an area, you remove all magical capability entirely. This leads us to the next aspect of magic, which is parallel dimensions. Some dimensions have more elasticity than others. This usually results in different natural laws and phenomenon, which is fine thanks to the fact that these areas are greatly divided. If every dimension and their respective levels of magical elasticity were to meet, it would be equivalent to watching hundreds of worlds crash into each other at Mach 10. But these walls and barriers became just as elastic as their specific worlds. This means that these worlds can have portals that travel to and fro. These portals are basically holes that can be opened via some sort of catalyst, and in most cases being incantations and crystal gems. A common tool in this endeavor would be the gems of power and the incantations of the Enchiridion, but these are not the only tools that can be obtained to meet this end. Generally, simple artifacts that contain enough power to open these holes by introducing great elasticity always exist in one form or another in most dimensions, and this ultimately leads to discovery of the third principle of magic, which is the concept of the multiverse. Due to the ability now being accessible to travel from dimension to dimension, it was quickly found out that our land of Oo is just part of an endless multiverse, each one with various levels of elasticity and their own laws and life forms. Whatever you could imagine was true within another reality. A universe with godlike creatures who devour planets is something that exists. The sheer madness of the multiverse and how each affects another is what makes magic significantly harder once you reach this threshold, as messing with these forces is the territory of deities and various gods, and is something that rarely should ever be messed with lest you accidentally destabilize and obliterate countless universes. Now, the final piece of the puzzle is the concept of amok time. Now, I went over this before, but I'll go over it again for the people who didn't see my previous video. Amok time, in its simplest form, is the idea that time is malleable and there is no such thing as past, present, or future. Instead, you are basically living all of these instances at once, except the mortal mind can't really experience this, so it results in you perceiving it in a linear fashion. This causes a strange occurrence where occasionally things that had not happened yet already happened, such as when I stopped giving an example to say,
But before we talk about that, I first gotta talk about our sponsor today, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is basically software that allows you to browse online safely without worrying about hackers by it encrypting your data and changing your IP address at a whim. And since this is the case, you can actively change your region in order to gain access to all that juicy content that's not available where you are. A good example that goes directly for me would be the fact that I have to watch Adventure Time in order to make these videos. However, after the recent downfall of a certain site, I have to basically go over to Netflix as well as other streaming sites, but what do you know, most streaming sites don't actually have Adventure Time in my particular region. region. However, thanks to Atlas VPN, I can actively change my IP address in order to basically watch all of these various shows both on Netflix, Hulu, as well as any other streaming site that I just so happen to be utilizing at this exact time. Not only that, but on a premium account, you can link as many devices as you want in order to pretty much protect every single device that you currently have. So you're left with a VPN that costs pennies on the dollar, continuously protects all of your devices because you can connect as many as possible, also possesses the ability to completely limit malware as well as ads, all while saving you money in pretty much every single turn. So if you like your privacy and also want to get access to some of these really good deals, be sure to go to my link down in the description as well as the comment section. With all that security talk out the way, let's get right back into the video.
Even though you already saw and experienced the event, it happened later in the future as well, which gives you both a case of deja vu, but also wondering what the hell just happened. Basically, the flow of time is convoluted, with tales centuries old fading in and out. The very fabric wavers, and there's no telling how much longer two times may remain in contact. And if any of you got that reference, I hope you have a wonderful day. That being said, it's believed that time at a certain level becomes a physical dimension that beings can reside in and actually experience the flow of time themselves. Some wizards do this willingly through unique means. However, more often than not, this results in one or both of two things. They either completely lose their mind and or become trapped in the time stream for, well, all of time. Some try to do this in order to produce prophecies or simply predict the outcomes of certain decisions or events. However, this also results in something terrible. If one peers too deeply into time, they will see an event that unfortunately no one has ever been able to document, as those who reach this event either suffer madness or are imprisoned in time for all of eternity. What I'm referring to is an unknown series of events which is entirely unavoidable. No matter what occurs within time, these singular events will always happen, and every person who has seen these events has not been able to tell the tale. As it should also be noted that this process doesn't make them immortal. This results in them also dying when they find out most of the time. What we do know is whatever these events are, they are said to change all of reality permanently, and in a world where permanence is incredibly rare, this is concerning. Now, I would like to go into further detail, but I'm all out of time today. I will be making an entire magical encyclopedia where we will go over everything we could possibly go over when it comes to these subjects, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and also I am sorry that I have been gone for way too long, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.